What's up, guys? Welcome to Daily Dose of Reddit. This is your host, Zach, and today's subreddit is r/fatpeoplestories. This story's called Picture This. You're quietly sitting on a bus with headphones and a book. In enters panting Ham Planet. What will she do? So I discovered this sub yesterday and have been chugging down stories for hours as a Ham Planet would a 2-liter Mountain Dew. And it made me think, wow, so freaking lucky I've never encountered a beast in the wild. I lived in Europe all my life. Might explain it. Until I remembered that you're in Europe and people there are entitled. Mostly because they're entitled everywhere. My only fat people story. Be me, 15 at the time, sitting in a bus in the middle of summer, doing my best to ignore the heat, the armpit smell, and the cries of toddlers. Headphones and book combo activated. Blissfully unaware of my surroundings for a while, suddenly feel a disgustingly moldy, moist, warm breath wafting on my neck. Leaves shrivel and toes curl up as it seems the foul, corrupt stench of Tartarus somehow escaped the underworld to permeate a bus in the middle of Paris. Lo and behold, Charybdis is standing before me, her abyss of a mouth wide open. Preparing to be devoured.exe. Utterly concerned, as it seems I just heard the bus's tires deflate, understand Sasha Traylord is actually trying to catch her breath. I don't know who that is. Concern turns to confusion as I wonder what could trigger her near asphyxiation. Spoiler alert, it was the crushing weight of hundreds of kilograms on a 160-centimeter frame. More confusion as to why Cage the Elephant decided to steal my oxygen. Note, been using buses and subways to commute on a daily basis in a bunch of fairly populated cities for more than a decade, and never, even in the thick of the most ungodly of rush hours, has anyone let out such a gust of stale fry smell so close to my frickin' face. Excuse me? I need that. I'm disabled. What? The lion, the witch, and the audacity of this baseball pitch. No disability card, of course, although they're required, and people who have one usually show it automatically. Sure. I did not ask for her card as proof, as I'm still stunned and more interested in finding fresh air again. Already had a fight in a bus. Not doing that again. Most of all, I'm beta as frick. Ha ha ha! So I stand up, having removed my headphones to listen to the beast request, and decide to go as far away as I can from Lady Lard. My seat was at the front, and when I turn around, the bus was frickin' empty. Bimbo had gone up to one of the 5 only passengers just for the sake of flaunting her disability? Still freaking confused, honestly. If anyone has an explanation, I'd happily hear it. Here you have it, my shiny, precious fat people story. Sourly lackluster compared to a lot of you guys' amazing close encounters of the 300 pounds kind, but still wanted to contribute. I really like the grain text approach to writing these stories. Very funny, original, at least on here. So thank you, user Sarcasm Snake, for your stories and format. This story's called Where's the Big Bad Wolf When You Need Him? Well, I guess the god of Ham Planets heard my prayers not to cross the path of one of his blessed creatures and decided to trample them with glee because I kid you not, he smote me right this freaking day as I was eating lunch. And so, in the honor of all the waddling pantries out there who would never dare delay the moment of their replenishment, I present to your ravenous appetite another tale of the entitled. Tie a napkin around your neck and go grab some water, you mighty ogres. This one's longer than my previous one. Be me, 19, female, sitting in a fish restaurant about to enjoy a nice meal with family. Sea is sparkling, breeze refreshing, seagulls cawing, postcard perfect.jpg. Alas, Poseidon has awoken. His wrath shall be endless, and the blood of innocents must be spilled filled to quench his bottomless ire. For he has sent in this haven of peace an army of barbarous walruses. Oh wait, no, it's a family of 4. But why was I mistaken? Is it their size? Nope, we're sitting behind me, haven't seen them yet. Is it the noise? Yep, it's the freaking opening credits for Peppa Pig. I crap you not. Blasting so loud, I legit thought someone had ordered pork and they were trying to slaughter a pig to get the freshest meat. In an actual restaurant with freaking customers, all staring wide-eyed at the provenance of this unholy cry. Fortunately, because of Brovit and because the restaurant had enough rooms and outside seating areas to allow proper social distancing, we were only 9 unfortunate souls present to witness this primal shriek. My whole family turns around in horror to see your average tourist ham-planet herd, sighing internally.exe. Mama Pig isn't quite a planet yet, a mere moon. Children are actually average-sized, on the thinner side. But Big Dad wants it. Mac was full-on Jupiter-sized, his family orbiting around his mighty 350 to 400 pounds. Our feel when we see a 3-year-old toddler glued to an iPhone, source of the ruckus. Our feel when they don't turn down the volume. Our feel, or face, whatever the hell it is, we realize we'll probably have to listen to snorting cartoon pigs and bleating sheeps and whatever the hell other animals' noises are blaring from this phone during our entire lunch.
If they don't turn this down in the next 5 minutes, so help me God, I'll go over there and flip the table over.
My mom the badass. Wow. Fortunately, they must have felt the slowly boiling rage of the other 3 tables around them, for they, oh so slightly, lower the noise. Atmosphere relaxes a bit. Fish tastes amazing. Restaurant located right across the sea. Also serves as a fish shop, so everything is always super fresh. Enters friendly waitress to clear the Shake Shaggers table. Waiter's universal anthem activated.
How was your meal? Hope everything went fine.
Cue Ursula's answer, her upper lip stiff with disdain.
Well, the fish was obviously frozen and reheated, not fresh, like your menu indicates. It's unacceptable! Even the children didn't finish their plates.
So, I don't know a lot about kids, but even though I live in France and parents tend to accustom their kids to all kinds of food as soon as they can hold a fork and knife, kids will be kids, and a lot of them don't like fish. This was no ordinary, bland-tasting, square-cut and fried piece of fish. This was a frickin' skate! So, they put a whole goddamn fin on your plate, skin removed and all. But the thing is frickin' huge, and you have to gently scrape the meat off the bones. We're talking about a 3-year-old and a 5-year-old. Has Dionysus snatched away the last remaining strand of my sanity? Or am I the only one who finds it understandable, to say the least, that a toddler won't finish this whole amount of food? Especially if it's skate. And who the frick uses their children's eating behavior as an argument for the quality of the food? And they had an oasis with their meal, a frickin' soda with fresh fish. See other customers who had the same, what's today's special, rolling their eyes, no, it's bullcrap. Waitress frickin' works there, knows it's bullcrap. We were in the middle of eating, so we knew it was bullcrap. Everyone frickin' knows. Everyone thinks they want a discount or free stuff. Dad whispers, give them something that's not fried, and bam, they're confused. My sassy dad.lol. Waiter just smiles and walks away, expecting a tornado of Karenisms from the Flabtastic 4. To everyone's awe, their children use running around like madmen to distract the sub-parents. Ha, subpar. That's cool. It's super effective. Mini Moon, huffing and puffing, fails to catch them. Blob the Builder just sits there. Probs only has enough strength to get up once, chooses to spare it for when they'll leave. Kids shouting, a bit annoying, but oh well, it's entertaining. They finally sit again, not thanks to Trollina, at last, they end up leaving, loudly complaining about the quality of ice cream they, however, still devoured. Relief floods us as we enjoy our desserts. As this ordeal engraves itself in our memories forever, an unbreakable bond is forged. We solemnly vow to include this tale in the family saga, which our children and grandchildren shall continue to sing long after we're gone. If you read this till the end, you're a frickin' trooper. I raise my glass to your focus, commitment, and sheer frickin' will. On this note, bon appetit. Are you not supposed to drink pop with fresh fish? Because I'm not gonna lie, I eat soda. I drink pop all the time with anything. Like, I will drink pop with pop. So, who you calling trashy there, buddy? This story's called Ham Planets Who Don't Have Driver's Licenses. Now, I want to start by saying that there's nothing wrong with not having a driver's license. Taking transit and walking are better for the environment, your wallet, and your health. Before I got my license, I walked and took transit everywhere. I still take transit when I go certain places, such as downtown. When I learned when I was 19, I had days where I didn't know if I would be able to do it. But in the end, after taking double the amount of driving lessons most people do, I finally got my license. I'm still more of a nervous driver than most 5 years later. I drive everywhere with a GPS so that I know what lane I need to be in for the next turn. And I never park close to places when I'm running errands because the parking lot is usually too busy for me and I get really stressed. Now, here is my experience with hams who don't have their driver's licenses. They make it everyone else's problem. I have two examples of this from my personal life. My first story is about a friend of mine. I do feel a little bad about calling her a ham, but the shoe does fit with her obesity combined with some of her behaviors. She never got her driver's license and will only go somewhere if you drive her there and home. She also does not work. I have not seen her in over a year due to her refusing to meet me unless I pick her up. It usually comes in the form of some other excuse though. After I say that I am letting my husband borrow my car or something along those lines. I once went to her house and she asked me if I wanted to go for coffee. I said sure and assumed that we would be walking to the place a couple of blocks away from her house. She never asked if we would drive there, so I assumed we were walking since it is so close. We left the house and she went and stood beside my passenger door of the car. I thought to myself, I guess I'm driving. We then drove to get coffee. Another time when we were planning to hang out with a group of other girls who also do not drive, she suggested all of the places I could drive them throughout the day. I politely suggested to her that driving in a large city that we live in can be stressful, and I was hoping to relax that day at the house of the girl who was hosting us. She then suggested that they all give me some gas money, and I had to reiterate to her that it is not about the gas money, but that I would prefer just to pick us up some food and alcohol, and not to drive around throughout the day other than that. She didn't seem to get it, but she did stop with her suggestions. On another occasion, we were hanging out at her house, and she asked me if I would take her to the drugstore and the grocery store. I ended up having to make an excuse about having to leave soon so that I wouldn't be an errand runner all day. Keep in mind that she has a grocery store and drugstore within a 10-minute walk from where she lives. The last time I offered to meet with her, I told her that my husband and I were sharing a car at the moment and that he needed it that day, which was true, and that we could meet somewhere along the train line so that we could both get there easily. She ended up making an excuse, and we only talk online now. My second story is about an acquaintance of mine, my niece's best friend, who I have on Facebook. This girl is definitely in the obesity category. She completed a 2-year licensed practical nurse diploma, but has never worked in the field. I have a feeling that her weight has played a big part in her never obtaining a nursing job. This girl is always posting on Facebook about needing a ride to the grocery store. Just like my friend, she does not have a job to pay for a taxi or Uber. She also posted the other day complaining about how she is craving a Starbucks frappe and that it is so unfair that ordering one from Skip the Dishes would have a huge delivery fee. Newsflash: someone has to go to Starbucks, order your drink, wait for your order, and deliver it to you. Of course that'll cost you a few dollars. I hope she didn't end up ordering because I doubt she would tip. Anyone else notice that a lot of hams don't have their driver's licenses and also aren't willing to pay pay for a taxi or Uber or take transit or walk. The entitlement of these hams relying on other people to take them everywhere drives me nuts! That's okay, OP. At least people depend on you when they shouldn't, but at least you're somewhat valuable. I don't know. Silver lining, silver lining. This story's called Megatron Karen Goes to a Public Pool and Gets Angry That Other People Are Swimming. Hello, dear readers. I'm back with another entitled parent story for you, starring the biggest Mega Karen I know, my mother. This happened when I was 11 in 2001. We'd moved to a small town in a new state 2 years prior to this, and my mother was still getting her foothold in a new place. And by this, I mean my mother and her entitledness. Let me explain my mother. She's about 5 foot tall, broad-shouldered, tubby but strong from doing farm work most of her life, and a resting bee face that would make Dolores Umbridge want to run the other way in fear and discomfort. Needless to say, she did not look good in a swimsuit, much to my embarrassment the first day she came with me to the public swimming pool. Damn, cut your mom a break. When we arrived at the pool, my mom went to the changing room while I jumped straight in. I was already in my tags and board shorts when we left from home. A few minutes later, along came Mother Dearest in her 2 sizes too small one piece with her chub out for the world to see. I'm all for body positivity and loving who you are, but seeing my mother in her too tight onesie waddling towards the pool was a sight that made 11-year-old me wish I couldn't swim. And let's just say that she was in no way elegant when entering the pool. Instead of sitting on the edge and sliding in, she went with a full-on jump into the deep end, throwing other swimmers off course in their attempts to get out of the way. And then came her entitlement, as she proceeded to act as if her $5 entry fee gave her full control of the pool and everyone in it. My mother is not a strong swimmer, so her preferred stroke of choice was doggy paddle or awkward breaststroke. This resulted in her kicking or hitting the occasional swimmer in her haphazard laps around the pool, and getting angry at them for being in her way. She started yelling at the other swimmers, who were mostly children, that they shouldn't be there and demanding they get out of the pool or get out of her way. By this point, I'd escaped to the other end of the pool, not wanting to be seen with her. Not long after Mother Dearest had gotten into the pool, she was asked to behave herself or get out of the pool. Mom, not understanding how she was in the wrong.
What? But I haven't done anything wrong. Maybe you should teach those stupid kids to swim properly.
Of course, this fell on deaf ears and she was told to leave. As we were leaving, with me wanting to die from embarrassment, Mom muttered something about never coming here again. And even though this threat was something she rarely followed through on, thankfully for me, this time she actually meant it. Every time after this, she would drop me off or I would walk there on my own. It boggles my mind how she can be so rude and entitled to think she owns the space by just being there. But out of all the entitled experiences I've had with her throughout my life, this was one of the more mild encounters. Well, she sounds like a delightful woman, and I cannot wait to come over for Thanksgiving.
Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that bell to never miss an episode.